Fun parks. For many, a source of joy, disconnection to the outside world, and entertainment. For us reagents, a place of despair, trauma, and home to none other than the psychotic Mother Gooseberry. This is an in-depth guide for the trial itself, along with the many enemies you'll face off against. I'll also cover the secret room and where it can show up, as well as the secondary objective, rigs, amps, and how to get an A+ grade. Welcome to Grind the Bad Apples. After entering the trial, look around the surrounding area for any items you may need in the future. Before you have a chance to move forward, you immediately meet face to face with Gooseberry.
Come in, come join the party. We're all going to have such fun. La 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 la.
She invites you in, and this is your cue to lift up the gate and proceed. On higher difficulties, an X-Pop will spawn when you first enter this area, so you have no time to gaze at Gooseberry. Just go. Your main objective now is to get to the Root Canal ride. When you first enter, immediately go right and open this door. This small room has a door which is blocked from the other side. Lift this bar up and unblock the door. It'll be helpful later. Feel free to look around the grounds to familiarize yourself with the layout of the map. You may have to navigate these areas and avoid any X-Pop patrolling around. Speaking of which, there will be an X-Pop patrolling the area you need to go to, and on higher difficulties, there will be a Berserker who will either be between the areas close to the entrance of the fun park, or further down where you need to go. Continuing further down this path, you'll find yourself in this little diner with 4 cauldrons and a gate with a target above it. Inside the cauldron are hearts which you can use as throwables to hit the target and then proceed. You've now arrived at the Root Canal, but you need tickets to enter. Now, carnival games will start up all around the fun park, and you'll need to win them to get tickets to enter. The carnival games change every time you do the trial, but the only one that always shows up is this clown game. Now, the fun park itself is pretty large, and you may find yourself getting lost. Luckily, there's these maps around the area, which you can use to pinpoint your location and the location of all the current carnival games. Before doing anything else, go lift up this bar in this door here. It'll be helpful later. Now, using the map and exploring a bit, you'll be able to find all the carnival games, but how do you win them? Well, simply by using any throwable object, including the stun rig if you want to be extra, and hitting 3 targets at each game. You can use the hearts in the diner to refill your inventory if you can't find any throwable objects around. They infinitely respawn, so even if you're a terrible shot, you have as many chances as you want. After completing the game, you can collect a ticket and turn it in. In solo, you need to have 3 tickets, and in co-op, you need 4 tickets. After turning in all the tickets, you can now enter the Root Canal.
Invited Zara to my daughter's tunnel.
Oh, everybody's invited in, Dr. Daddy. It's a place so wonderful, nobody ever thought to leave.
Pushing the button reveals a boat filled with kids mutilating some poor guy. These kids have to be taught a lesson. You need to push this boat all through the ride to the very end of it, but you'll be blocked at a few points along the way. On higher difficulties, an X-Pop will be patrolling this area as well and will hear you pushing the boat. Firstly, you'll find a barrier blocking your progress. To lift them up, you'll need to disarm 2 batteries in the surrounding area. In solo, you'll need to deal with 2 of these, and in co-op, you'll have to deal with 3. Once you lift up the first barrier, an X-Pop or heavy X-Pop will spawn near the boat. Pushing the boat is pretty loud, and you're likely to have to deal with an X-Pop hearing you and chasing you. You could wait for them to leave the area, or you can just pray for the best and push away. Once you get the boat up this lift, you'll have to follow it. You can either try to navigate these flame spouts, or go through the back rooms of the ride, which is far safer. You'll have to disable another barrier, and once you do and start to push the boat again, you'll soon be stopped by Gooseberry. You'll now have to manually turn on the water by turning valves on pipes on the 1st and 3rd floor of the ride. You'll know where you need to find the valves as indicated by these pipes leading to the 1st and 3rd floor. In solo, you have to find 2 valves, and in co-op, you need to find all 4. On the 3rd floor, Gooseberry herself will be patrolling the area. On the 1st floor, you'll have to deal with some X-Pop, and on higher difficulties, a Night Hunter. So pick your poison for the order you want to do this in. You'll soon start to notice that there are tons of pipes and valves. To find the correct one, you'll need to follow the pipe from the start and carefully look to see where it turns and ends up. Turning the wrong valve hits you with gas and lowers your sanity. Once you find the correct valve, turn it 5 times and go find the next one. Turning the valve is extremely loud, and you're likely to attract any enemies nearby. If an enemy hears you, try to get at least 2 or 3 turns in before stopping and hiding. While you're looking for the pipe on the 1st floor, you're likely going to come across an area you haven't been to yet. This is the final area, so make sure you clear any traps or block doors while you're here. Once you turn the 2 valves, the water pressure is back and you can make your way back to the boat. On higher difficulties, a heavy X-Pop will be patrolling the area around the boat, so make sure he doesn't hear you pushing it. After you push the boat down, you'll have to follow it again. This leads into the final task. You'll have to push the boat into this huge grinder and teach the kids a lesson. Gooseberry will spawn through the insertion gate nearby and will immediately take notice of what you're doing. You'll have to lead her to the surrounding rooms and either juke her or hide from her, making her patrol the area. If you thought pushing the boat was loud, pushing the boat into the grinder is even louder. Gooseberry will immediately rush to the boat upon hearing it, so depending on where she is, you'll have just a few seconds to push. Blocking her with locked doors is a good way to get some solid time in before she gets to you. After the kids are taught their lesson, it's time to escape. You need to go back to where you entered the trial to get out. Using the route I'm taking here is quick, and minimizes the amount of X-Pop getting in your way. However, Gooseberry will always be waiting for you with the shuttle. She'll be patrolling the surrounding area, and you'll need to either wait for her to give you an opening, or ignore all previous warnings and put your life on the line. After pushing the button, you'll need to wait 10 seconds before the shuttle arrives, however, and on higher difficulties, there may not be many hiding spots in the area. After the shuttle arrives, you enter the shuttle, and you're done. The secret room is present in all major trials. If you can find it, inside you'll find an item booster, medicine, batteries, a rig recharger, a master key which can open any lock instantly, syringes in co-op and respawn pills in solo. To open up the secret room, you'll need to find 2 mark-off labeled buttons within the close vicinity of the door. In solo, you just have to press both buttons in a small window of time. In co-op, you and a friend will have to hold both buttons down at the same time to open the door. If you have the jammer rig, you can bypass the buttons entirely and use it on the secret door to open it up. There are 4 locations in Grind the Bad Apples where the secret room can appear. The first possible location is in this back room during the first boat pushing section. The second possible location is here underneath these stairs leading to the 2nd floor. The third location is here on the 3rd floor, just past the stairs leading up to it. The final location is down here in the final area. You should try to search for the secret room before doing any of the objectives required to move on, as the items inside can really help you in the trial. The most common secondary objective, which you'll encounter if you just play the trial normally, is to collect propaganda posters. These are randomly placed throughout the trial, and they're in excess, so you're way more than likely to come across more than you need to complete it. They're always appearing on walls, so keep your eyes about head level. In solo, you'll need to collect 3, and in co-op, you'll need 5. The other secondary objectives can only be done during events or by getting them as varietors during escalation runs or in custom trials. With these varietors, Christmas gifts, drugged rats, TVs, dead reagents, or schematics will spawn randomly all throughout the trial, and you need to interact with them to complete it. Much like the posters, they're all in excess, so as long as you look around, you'll find more than enough. With these varietors, a radio or broken television will appear in one spot randomly somewhere in the trial. Find it and stop the broadcast to complete it. While they do spawn in set locations, these locations can literally be anywhere within the trial, so check every room until you found them. Before going over rigs, be warned that on psychosurgery difficulty, the rig cooldown is increased dramatically and will often leave you without a rig for upwards of 5 or more minutes, so use them cautiously. The stun rig is great if you're someone who finds himself getting caught a lot and doesn't have a means to defend yourself. You can use it on the X-Pop patrolling in any of the areas near the carnival games, or, yes, on the carnival games themselves. The stun rig is probably one of the most effective rigs for any trial, as it has a reduced cooldown if it doesn't hit an enemy and restores night vision, battery, and stamina if you're in the blast. Unlike Coil, Gooseberry can be fully stunned by the stun rig, and has no downsides to using it on her. The blind rig is another great piece of utility that can be used to create windows of opportunity for you to create space. Use this one if you know you're about to be seen and want to create a trap for an incoming enemy. A good spot for it is anywhere where you're going to be pushing the boat. The blast from it gives you an adrenaline boost, which will help you push it further. You could also set one down beside one of the correct valves so that you know if someone sees you, they just run into the mine. Or setting one down when Gooseberry sees you when pushing the boat for the final time. The jammer rig is another all-around great tool for any trial. You can use it to unlock containers or padlock doors, turning traps against enemies, opening certain gates, or you can use it on enemies themselves, causing them to stagger for a brief time. The jammer rig is also great if you find yourself dying without any respawns or syringes left, as it can revive you or a friend once per trial. You can also use a jammer rig on the secret room door once you find it. The jammer rig has 3 levels of jamming that each increase the cooldown of the rig depending on what you're trying to use it on. Blocks incur the lowest cooldown of the rig. Small traps incur the second highest cooldown, and the secret room door and enemies incur the highest cooldown. If you're someone who has trouble with traps and wants to turn the tide against the X-Pops, or you just like having the trial tech on your side, the jammer rig is for you. The heal rig is an all-around good tool to have, especially playing in a group, but it can help you if you find yourself getting hit a lot. It can even slow down enemies, which may help when you're trying to push the boat. The barricade rig blocks doors, making enemies have to break them down, which can slow them down and give you time to escape or complete an objective. Keep in mind you can use them on any doorway whether there's a door there or not. You can put up to 2 barricades at a time with it, and any made after will automatically break the first one you put up. It's a great tool if you want to create your own pathways for enemies to take, and it has the lowest cooldown of any rig. The X-ray rig doesn't offer a ton of utility, but if you're someone who likes to know where enemies are so you can avoid them, this one's for you. The X-ray rig can also help you discover where items are located, and it also charges the battery while active, and it has a pretty short cooldown so you won't have to rely on batteries for the most part. Depending on the difficulty, the types of enemies in the trial can vary. Gooseberry will always be present in the trial no matter what, but I'll save her for last. The most common type of enemy is the X-Pop. They'll patrol around the trial and deal with you if they see you. If you run, you'll most likely lose them if you turn a corner or hide out of sight from them. They're by far the easiest enemies to deal with. Heavy X-Pop are the second most common enemy. They behave much like the normal X-Pop, but for some reason they take slightly longer to notice the player at first. They hit much harder than normal X-Pop, but are generally slower and easier to lose in a chase. Pouncers are the most annoying enemy. They hide in random hiding spots and wait for a player to pass by them. Once they do, they leap out at them and attack them. The player must repeatedly mash a button to get away or have a friend kick her off them. Once she's off, she'll go off and find another hiding spot and wait for another opportunity to attack. You can pinpoint where a Pouncer could be hiding by listening for her ramblings. Be wary of all nearby hiding places until you know for sure where she is. The Tier 1 prescription, self-defense technique, lets you fight back against the Pouncer by using a bottle or brick from your inventory when she jumps on you. Doing so will negate any damage she does to you, and force her to run away and find a new hiding spot. Additionally, the Tier 3 prescription anti-ambush allows you to throw a brick or bottle at a hiding spot where a pouncer is hiding to force her to leave that spot. Screamers stand still in one spot, and if disturbed, they let out an ear-piercing scream that will cause you to have double vision while within range of them. Much like the pouncer, once they're disturbed, they'll run off to a new spot and post there. Making any kind of noise will cause a screamer to react, and making too much noise in a short amount of time will disturb him. Try to crouch near one whenever you're nearby. You can also throw a brick or bottle at him to cause him to run away and find a new spot. Imposters are enemies that you won't encounter if you play solo unless the variety or more imposters is present, but in a group, they'll spawn through the insertion gate at random times dressed as one of the players. They'll try to walk up to one of you, and if they get it close, they pull out a knife and begin stabbing you. You can tell if they're an imposter based on the name tag above their head. It will be a crude misspelling of one of the players in your group, but the name tag will be absent if the variety or no player names is present. Another way to tell if it's an imposter is by the noises and laughs he makes as you get close to him. You can make him go away by hitting him with a brick or bottle, or simply by entering a hiding spot. Remember that imposters are now more lifelike and will be able to ping, give items, and move unpredictably to accurately mimic players. Berserkers are blind. They rely on sound to pinpoint where you are. Much like the heavy X-Pop, they hit hard, so it's best to avoid them or crouch near them to avoid being hit. You should use a brick or bottle to help lure him away from the objectives and doors. It's important to remember that he's blind, so using the blind rig effectively does nothing to him. He'll react to the sound of the blind rig, but he won't be stunned by it. Night Hunters operate in the dark. Much like the players, he's equipped with night vision goggles, and can see you even in the dark. He doesn't patrol exactly like other X-Pop. Instead, he patrols for a short time, then parks himself in one spot, surveying the area surrounding him. If you're spotted by him, try to go somewhere where there's light. He won't be able to see you since his night vision goggles are always on, and are too strong for his eyes in the light. So he'll retreat back to a dark area as long as you don't grab his attention again. Pushers spawn at random times throughout the trial. They'll patrol the nearby area looking for any player unlucky enough to cross his path. If he catches you, he won't hit you. Instead, he'll spray toxic gas on you and force you into psychosis. He'll leave right away, but it's up to you to find an antidote. Pitchers spawn at random times throughout the trial, and they patrol a good portion of the trial no matter where they spawn. They're equipped with a Molotov not only as a weapon, but as a light source too, which means they can spot you easier in the dark if you're close by. If they spot you, they'll throw a Molotov at you. Once they spawn, they won't leave for a good long while, so prepare yourself. The Jaeger spawns at a random time in the trial for 5 minutes and usually spawns close to the player. She chooses one player to relentlessly pursue and always knows where they are, even if they hide. She won't stop until she's killed her target and can't be stopped by any means. The only way to deal with her is to run as far as you can from her and wait until the 5 minutes are up and she leaves. You can also find a place that is impossible for the Jaeger to get to, and that will force her to leave. In the context of Grind the Bad Apples, there's these 2 crawl spaces in the fun park portion, the shuttle doors leading to the Root Canal, and this crawl space in the back rooms of the first floor of the Root Canal. Gooseberry is the prime asset, meaning she'll always be present in the trial no matter what. Gooseberry is seen only on the 3rd floor when looking for the valve, and when pushing the boat into the grinder. If she hits you, she causes you to bleed, making your health slowly drain to a certain point over time. Using a medicine bottle isn't enough to stop it. You'll have to find a bandage and patch yourself up to stop the bleeding. If you have difficulty finding them, remember that bandages are always present in locked medical containers. Out of all the amps, really only a handful are strong and useful in almost all situations. The ones I'm used may not fit your playstyle, but they always get me from point A to point B without any issues. Noise reduction is a fantastic tool amp. As the name implies, it decreases the amount of noise you generate from running and opening doors. It really comes in handy in not just Grind the Bad Apples, but in every trial, and is a must-have amp in the tool category. Other great tool amps are Cacophony and Slippers. The former makes your bottles and bricks louder when thrown and are great for causing distractions, which could be useful for trying to push the boat around or when turning the valves. Slippers makes it so that when you walk over a glass trap, you don't make any sound, although this is only if you walk over them. Running over them with the amp still causes the noise to be heard. Noise reduction is just too good of an amp to be replaced by these two, however. Skill amps have a little more variety in what's viable and what's good. Strong Arm makes your bricks or bottles more impactful when hitting an enemy. Hitting an X-Pop causes them to stagger for longer than without the amp, though hitting a prime asset sees little difference. Smash and Door Trap Breaker are also good skill amps to have, especially if playing on higher difficulties when more doors are unreliable. Smash lets you bust open locked or blocked doors in one hit, as well as open co-op doors by yourself. There are a few places in the fun park where you can bust down co-op doors which can give you shortcuts. Door Trap Breaker makes it so that you'll basically never get hit with a door trap again. If you open a door trap regularly, the trap will shatter. If you open a door trap slowly, it disarms instead. Invisible is another good skill amp. This makes you invisible to enemies in hiding spots if they didn't see you enter it. Even if you peek while in it, they won't see you. Medicine amps are really useful. The one I tend to use is Incognito, which makes crouch walking speed faster. Sometimes I find myself unable to escape an enemy while crouching, and this helps me escape far more often than not. Antitoxin is another great medicine amp if you find yourself losing sanity often. This makes your sanity recover by itself over time, and makes psychosis last half as long. Double doses is really good if you or a teammate die a lot. They cause syringes in co-op to have 2 uses, and respawn pills in solo to give 2 extra lives instead of 1. Last Chance is good on higher difficulties where enemies can hit a lot harder and can kill you a lot easier. This amp always leaves you with 1 HP if the last hit would have been fatal. Boosted is another solid amp that gives you a random booster item when you first enter the trial. A health booster, which gives you 1 extra segment of health, a battery booster, which makes your night vision last twice as long, or a stamina booster, which gives you more stamina. Keep in mind that this is randomized and won't always give you the item you're looking for. Self-Revive is yet another great medicine amp that lets you come back from death once per trial. Say you're out of respawn pills, syringes, or the jammer rig already revived you. This amp gives you another chance for a comeback. Getting an A+ grade isn't as hard as it may seem. You don't have to be flawless or complete the trial in a specific amount of time. All that matters is what you do and how much of it you do. Doing positive things like using your rig, using batteries, collecting documents, using lockpicks, adrenaline, any other beneficial items causes your score to go up. Doing negative things like getting hit, dying, getting caught in psychosis, or triggering traps causes your score to go down. Typically, you want the positives to greatly outweigh the negatives. If you do get hit or get caught in psychosis, using a medicine, bandage, or antidote adds more score to your end result. However, if your health or sanity regenerates by itself, you lose out on that positive score. Completing the secondary objective gives you a huge boost towards your score, and will more often than not guarantee an A+ as long as you don't trigger too many negative score impactors. You don't actually have to complete the secondary objective to get an A+, but it's recommended you do as it gives that huge boost. Fun parks. Who could have guessed that a seemingly innocent location could house something so deeply disturbing and grotesque? Let's hope the kids here have learned their lesson. Again, I hope this guide helped you learn something about this trial. Join me next time for the MK challenges for the fun park. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the sleep room.